I think we're ready to do this.
Let's do this, man. All right, I'm starting to look more and more like you. I'm growing my hair out. I'm growing my beard out.
Absolutely. All right, I'm sure all of you that are watching are kind of scratching your heads. What are you guys watching? So welcome to episode 1 of the making of and episode 1 of the Highly Calibrated podcast, coming at you from Santa Clara in California. I'm coming at you from the House of Muscle, USA, with the owner and founder, Chris Gingrich, here to my left. We will be bringing you some news, we're bringing you some facts, we're bringing you some stories all about the fitness industry. Just to let you guys know, we are still here. There's been a lot of rumors pounding around saying, hey, the fitness industry is going to die. This is not something that's going to be around. People don't want to be crowded in the same gym. We are here to tell you that you don't have to be crowded in a gym. For Highly Calibrated Fitness, my name is Joshua Mangus. I'm the owner and founder. I do everything completely online. You can find me on my PT Hub. You can also find me on lessons.com. And we can get you through a whole consultation. You can take virtual classes. You can also be part of an online community that's going to help you reach support. I can give you nutritional plans, training plans to help you meet your goals individually, all in the safety of your own home. So we're going to stay safe. We're going to make sure that COVID-19 is going to be a thing of the past eventually, but right now, we're going to make sure that we're doing our thing to make sure that we're going to push forward in a safe and effective manner to make sure that you are going to have some fun and meet your goals along the way. So, just to start fitness current events, like I said before, fitness is not dying. We are here. Like I said, House of Muscle is everything that's going to be in person. As soon as we're ready to go here in Santa Clara, we have our own private studio. Chris will tell you a little bit more about that in a minute. But just to tell you a little bit more, some of the distractions that we might have at home for COVID-19, you might have 4 kids at home, might have 5, 6 kids at home, you might have a bunch of people that are living with you for the rest of your family. You know, it's tough to get in those workouts, but you know what? If we get in 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, stretch it a little bit, just move a little bit more throughout the day, we're going to feel a little bit better, and that's going to help us be better parents, better brothers, better sisters, better friends to those around us, because we're going to be healthy and we're going to be able to help those around us become healthier as well.
It adds up. 5 minutes a day here and there adds up quite a bit over time.
Absolutely, Chris. That mentality of getting back at it every single day, day after day, no matter how big or small that commitment might be, will put you in the right mindset and get you along in the right direction for all that. And on top of the at-home distractions, we might not have enough equipment. And you know, that's going to be the tough part for a lot of people. We're used to gyms. We're used to jumping in there with all of our Olympic weights and all the machines that we could ever imagine. But you know what? Our bodies are something that we can really use to our own advantage.
Yep.
I've always been a true believer, and you can echo this, Chris, a little bit, that if you're a person, you should be able to move the body that you've been given. And if you can't do that first, that's where you should start. So, Chris, I'll let you chime in a little bit.
That's so true. I'll tell you a little bit more about me in a second, but you know, I come from a sports background, a lot like you, and you know, we were never really in the weight room. You know, we dubbed the gym as the basketball court. You know, the gym was like the hoops, and we had a ball, and we didn't touch weights. We ran. We did functional workouts. We did push-ups. We did planks. We did walking lunges. I mean, we rarely touched weights. And when we started going into the weight room and we started putting on more muscle and bulking up, we found that, you know, our shot was off a little bit. We lost a little bit of agility. So when it comes to functional training, man, I mean, I've been functional training since I was 4 or 5 years old. I mean, I didn't really get my first gym membership until I was 17 years old.
Absolutely, Chris, and I can definitely echo a little bit on that. You know, growing up in Chicago, you're taught to go out and play. You know, go out and play with the friends around the house. I know this sounds very cliche, but this is what we did in my neighborhood. I had a wiffle ball set. Everybody in the neighborhood would come over. We'd have 5, 6 people in our backyard. People would dub it the Little Wrigley Field because it was all ingrown. It was on the corner.
The Sandlot.
Exactly. We would all play. We'd all play wiffle ball.
Awesome.
And these people came from all different walks of life. But you know what? Sports and fitness brought us together. And it's funny because from that group, me, myself, I'm in the fitness industry, and also one of my close friends is in the fitness industry. We live right across the street from each other. So, you know,
nice.
Beginning with those little things that you do with your friends and, you know, pushing forward with your coaches, that things that you can do with your body every single day really put you on the path to really becoming a more functional human being.
For sure.
And then the last thing, it being with COVID-19 and trying to break into fitness and break into your mental health and be able to improve those things, is motivation. Motivation is hard, people. This is not something that you walk down the street and go, the sky is blue today, I'm ready to work out. That's just not how it works. And I'll be sharing with you a little bit later another way to really go after that motivation and not just passively let it come to you, but really, really going after it. So, a little bit more about myself. Like I said, my name is Joshua Manis. I am the founder and head trainer at Highly Calibrated Fitness. I'm here to bring you the highly calibrated lifestyle through my blog, through the Highly Calibrated podcast, and through everything that we are doing here with House of Muscle. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. It was a very blue-collar area. It was definitely not a place that you'd walk out in the street and you were just given your future. You definitely had to go out and take it. But through hard work and putting myself out there, it's definitely proven to me through the fitness industry and through everything in wellness and psychology that you will get to where you want to go as long as you keep pushing and you do not let up anytime that you can go for that. Personally, I'm a former baseball player. I'm also a track cyclist. And then also for me, my main move right now is Spartan. I love doing my OCR races, and a little bit more about them for the current events. They actually just canceled. Joe DeSena came online yesterday and just canceled every race in the 2020 season. So we can think about that, going back to the motivation a little bit, we can think of that as a huge setback. But you know what? It's a step back for the setup. Is getting ready for that next round. So for me, when COVID-19 hit, I was ready to complete my first beast race in San Luis Obispo.
Beast race.
So it was going to be 13 miles over 30 obstacles. I was ready for that. It's something that you have to train for a long time to be ready. And I got to San Luis Obispo, and we got the word about a day earlier that San Luis Obispo was canceled, and then pushed out to November. So at that point, I was like, you know what? I was really bummed. That really got me, but you know what? I had to keep going out, and I was saying, if I was going to complete it at maybe a 14-minute mile or 16-minute mile back in October, I'll be completing that in a year from now, being able to knock that out at maybe a 10-minute mile and being able to really compete rather than just passively get through that.
Well, you have time to prepare for it now.
Absolutely.
We have a lot more time to prep for it.
Absolutely. But with that time comes that motivation, that constant seeking that out and being able to push yourself in the right direction. But a little bit more about what this podcast will bring to you. We want to make sure that the fitness industry is going to be a place of connectedness where we're pushing forward for mental health and other social justice issues, that we are giving you the physical ability to meet your plans and your goals and the practicality to build success in your future. And with that being said, a person that helps me build my future, especially here in the Silicon Valley area, is Chris Gingrich. He is the owner and founder of House of Muscle, and I'll let him talk to you a little bit.
Thanks for the intro, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, as we start kicking these off, I'm really excited because a lot of the stuff that me and Josh are going to talk about today are issues and things that are going on like right now, literally as we speak, and it's nice to talk about these things and bring them out into the open. But really quickly about me, I've been a personal trainer now for about 12 years. Like I said earlier, I come from a sports background. As you know, I've been playing basketball and football and baseball and soccer since I was like 4 years old, man. It seems like ever since I've been born, I had either football or basketball or baseball in my hand, something. To make a long story short, I played basketball up until college, where I got hurt pretty bad. I went into a really deep depression, and for like 4 months of my life, I was on crutches and I couldn't walk. Every night, my foot would just kill me. It was a miserable time, to be honest with you. And this was at the peak of my career. I came right out of high school, playing with a Division II basketball team, running with their starting five, and then bam, broken foot. So during that 4 months, I went into a depression, and then as soon as I got healthy again, I started going to the gym. I started working out. Actually, I was going to the gym when I had crutches. People were looking at me like I was crazy. I just couldn't sit still. Like I'm still that way. I just I can't be sedentary. So I go to the gym and I start working out. I was very intimidated by other people, other strong, bigger guys in the gym, whatnot, pretty girls or whatever. And then eventually, this big guy came up to me in the gym and was like, "Hey man, if you need a spot, let me know." And I was like, it seems like it changed my whole life. And I was like, and ever since then, I just wanted to be the biggest, baddest, strongest guy in the gym. That gravitated in towards me doing this as a career, and I'm truly blessed and very thankful for doing what I do to this day. So that's a little bit about me.
Awesome.
Sorry
Chris.
for the long story.
No,
I could keep going. I could probably write a book. But
No, you
that's
are
good enough
good.
for today.
All right, little malfunction here, getting the mask caught on the glasses. All right, so I want to jump into our next segment that we're going to have every single time that we have an episode. It's called Big Ideas. So today I want to talk a little bit about manufacturing motivation. Yes, you heard me, manufacturing motivation. I know that more than personal trainers and fitness enthusiasts would like to say, we are demotivated more than we are motivated to do what we do every single day and to push through. It's not easy to lead a healthy lifestyle, everybody. Especially here in the United States, we have been given all of these easy things to do. We can not go to the gym. We can sit on our butts on the couch and watch as much Netflix and Hulu and everything that we want. We can go and eat fast food every single day if we want, and it's available for everybody. And it's hard. Exactly. It's hard to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But if you have a reason to do the right thing, you will do it more times than not. So think back to a time where you were very, very motivated. For me, a time that I really, really was motivated was right after I did my first Spartan race. Yeah. My first Spartan race, I was scared. And I'm a person that I have generalized anxiety disorder, but it's very managed, and I usually do not get that anxious over something. So when I got there, my heart was pounding. I was not ready to go. But one thing that pushed me through was this one quote. I cannot tell you to this day who said it, but it was that courage is not the absence of fear. It is the presence of fear in doing what is set forth in front of you while that fear is still there. Wow. So for me, that was my motivating factor, and that pushed me and pushed me and pushed me. Now, I got through several Spartan races after that, and I got to my first beast race, and that broke me. I had a friend that she had said that race was the length that had finally broken her as well, and that is what's motivating me to this day. And the line that I have in my head, the mantra to keep motivating me is walk the walk that you talk every day. As personal trainers, as health enthusiasts, we tell you, eat the salads, make sure you're high in protein, do what you got to do every single day, hit the cardio, hit the gym.
Practice what you preach.
Exactly, practice what you preach, and that's a hard thing to do. Yeah. And me having a psychology background, in psychology we talk about this as having your ideal self and your actual self, and doing what you have to do every single day to bring those two concepts closer together. And that's where I would like to head into the manufacturing of motivation. One extremely famous person that I know, 9 out of 10 people are going to know when I mention this name, Michael Jordan, had the quote of you can come by motivation whenever you would like, and it might come by time to time, or you can seek it out to tear those down around you, to build them up and knock them down, to make sure that you can do what you need to do to push forward. Now, that was paraphrased. I thought I had the actual quote written down, but I did not.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful.
In a nutshell, what Michael Jordan would do is if he was going into a series against a Charles Barkley or an Ewing or a Magic Johnson, he would find a reason, maybe one word that somebody said in the press, to really push and go after one player. So if it was Magic Irvin Johnson, it could have been something along the lines of him just saying that Charles Barkley was a great emerging player and he was coming close along the heels of Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan went, nope, nobody's that close to me, and made it his personal mission. That's what motivated him to personally push Charles Barkley down, to make him a smaller man, to let everybody know that he was still the best in the business.
And Barkley was a big dude too.
Yeah, Barkley's
he was pretty big.
And he's a Hall of Famer.
All the guys you named are all Hall of Famers.
Absolutely. Yeah. But Michael Jordan found a reason to get better than them, to beat them individually. And I think that's what we have to do. You know, it might not be another person. For me, it's that race. I'm going to beat that race, and I'm going to get my trifecta once the Spartan season does resume, probably in 2021. That's my goal, and that's what's going to keep continuing to motivate me. But if I say I have a couple of days where I'm starting to get demotivated a little bit, I have to switch gears. I have to think about maybe the yoga is something that's really something I want to push for right now, because the mobility in one piece of the race might make that easier. And then my motivating factor shifts from that race being all-consuming to the mobility, saying I will need a little bit better mobility today, that being the focus for that day. So when you pick really, really big things to motivate you, the things that kind of happen, those are going to dissipate over time. In fitness, we call this the principle of diminishing returns. You can do a bicep curl at 10 pounds. You can do it for 10 reps on day one. If you do that same one on day 100 and you've been doing it every single day, it's not going to do the same thing for you on day 100 as it does on one.
So true.
So always find those motivating factors. Try to find a way to motivate yourself. And you know another thing Michael Jordan would do? He'd make stuff up to motivate himself.
Yeah.
He would literally go into practice.
I do a lot of that too.
Absolutely, same here.
Yeah.
He would go, man, Steve Kerr looked at me weird. I have to take him down. And there were times where it's documented that Steve Kerr and him and Michael Jordan have gotten into physical altercations.
Yeah.
But it's that push, it's that pursuit of excellence to be better than that person next to you or be better than yourself yesterday to really push yourself forward and become the healthy individual that you really want to be.
So one thing that stuck with me pretty much throughout my career and in personal training was to be 1% better than you were yesterday. And that's kind of what you were just talking about. And like you said, manufacturing motivation is tough. It's really difficult. No one's going to hold your hand or do it for you. You got to figure out a way, mentally and physically, to motivate yourself. And when you have a family or you have a tough job and you're stressed out, it's tenfold harder to do it after you get off work and you have kids. So I have a lot of respect for people, though, that can manufacture that motivation when they get off work and get their butts to the gym. And not only just get to the gym, dude, but kill it. Go hire a trainer. Right? Knowing that when they get off of a long day and the kids, the diapers need to do that, they need to go to the store, this, that, and the other, and then they got to go see a trainer to kick their butt. I have a lot of respect for those people. And then the people do it 2, 3, 4 times a week. These people are really, really serious. They are about it, and I love it. By the way, that picture on the wall, was that your first race or no?
No, actually, that was my first perfect race.
That would have been cool.
Actually,
that would have been cool.
Yeah, so that was my first perfect race, and what he is referring to, if you go to the House of Muscle website, my bio that is on there with the picture.
It's like you jumping over a fence, man.
Yeah, so
it looks like a big fence too.
Absolutely, so it's doing the 6-foot hurdles on the Spartan race at Oracle Park. That was a special race for me. That was my first race that my parents got to see. I grew up playing baseball, cycling, stuff like that. So telling my parents I was doing an obstacle course race was interesting. They definitely wanted to see it, but they definitely didn't.
Baseball or obstacle racing? I don't know. Yeah, Josh, are you okay?
It's at the baseball field. So and they definitely wanted to see it and see what it was about and be a part of it. But it's an abstract thing until you see it playing.
I want to go back to manufacturing motivation. Yeah. Right now I'm not in good shape. Obviously, building a business like we have here and doing everything that I've done, I haven't using the excuse of time, but really I'm just lazy. And I even me as a professional in this industry, I struggle every day with motivation. Every single day. I even ask myself, when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning, I'm like, Chris, when is it gonna come? When are you gonna wake up and it's like you see a video or something on Instagram or YouTube, you're like, okay, I'm motivated. And like I said, for me, it's difficult, man. I think back at times in my life where I have been really motivated, and even to this day, I struggle to get back to that mindset, man. Where it's just I was all in. There was nothing else that mattered. Get in shape, sub 10% body fat, 405 bench, 415 deadlift for 12, 405 squat, 20 pull-ups in a row. I struggle to get back to that. And as you get further and further out of shape, it's easy and normal to lose motivation. It's a normal thing. But I think that this topic that you bring up for this podcast is huge, because honestly, if I could put a finger on one thing, if I could get all my clients motivated, I would be a very rich personal trainer.
Oh, that's right. That's the key. Yeah. That's the key to our whole field. And being any profession, when you're a nurse, being the last place that you want to be on a day off is in the hospital. When you're a trainer and you've been training, 10 hours a day for the past 20-something days in a row, sometimes the last place you want to be is going to be in a gym or being around the studio that you've helped build. Even.
Exactly.
But one thing
exactly. I try to be as far away from it as possible.
Yeah, sometimes you have to separate.
Yeah.
So one thing that really has helped me out, being from Chicago, you don't have a lot of places to run and hide. And I don't mean actually I do mean like physical places to run at night. Everything's pretty flat, and all the space is pretty much taken up by buildings and other things like that.
Right. It's dense. It's dense.
Yeah, but being in the Bay, one thing that I have taken to heart, and I truly, it's one thing that's changed me as a person, is you can still do fitness and still get a workout in and separate. So for me, I'll go to the trails. One of the places that I love to go to is in the Palo Alto Foothills Park, which, by the way, definitely needs to be opened up. That's something that Palo Alto can do today to help to even a gap within our communities, is go ahead and make that the Foothills Park available to all residents everywhere. But back to it, I love going on the Los Trancos Trail and just getting up into the mountains and really getting away from everything. But, that's still 1,000-foot climb.
It's not easy.
It's about 7.5 miles.
That's the elevation, is 1,000?
Yep. It's tough. It's hard. But, it's something at the end of it. I always love fitness because if you're lifting, you have to focus on the bar or you're gonna hit.
For sure.
If you're on a trail like that, you gotta focus on what you're doing, or you're gonna fall off the side or something like that's gonna happen, or you're not gonna finish.
That's true.
Those things it accomplishes both goals. And in psychology, we talk about trying to find the best fit, right? In science in general, we talk about finding the best fit for what you're gonna be doing. And if you need to separate and you need to get a workout in, go run or go hike or get something that's somewhere else. Go get out on the water or something.
Right. I think one thing that you mentioned earlier, do you find motivation or do you make motivation? Awesome question. Both. I mean, you got to create it and you gotta find motivation as well. There are tons of people that inspire me. So I've kind of talked about how I'm not motivated, but let me talk about what motivates me. I mean, what motivates me is time, right? I only have a limited amount of time on this earth. I have my mother and my father and my brother who are still alive today. I want to make them proud, and and my clients that I have now, I want to make them proud too. And every day that goes by is an opportunity. Even right now with the gyms being closed, it's a great opportunity to go outside, go run, go for that run that you're probably driving to work. You see people running every day. You're like, damn, I want to do that. Well, now is the time, guys.
Yeah.
Go do it. So how I find motivation is I watch a lot of videos. I'm very into Instagram and YouTube videos, and I can relate to a lot of those things being an athlete. And then what I do to create the motivation is I just go do it. I go out and I do it. Yeah, it's gonna kick my butt. I put my music in that motivates the hell out of me, and I go out to the track just like I did when I first started. When I skipped the dance and I wanted to go run the 6 miles, right? And put my Rocky music on, like Eye of the Tiger, like nothing's changed, And it gives me goosebumps, man. But that's what I do. I go out, I'm all by myself, or I might maybe with a training partner, and we get after it. And to create the motivation, sometimes you just gotta put one foot in front of the next, and you just gotta start walking in the right direction. You gotta start. You have to start doing the work.
Absolutely. I think Chris keys on a very interesting thing. Definitely have to figure out something for that for next episode.
It's just going to be left off for now. Honestly, it's
so
off.
Chris,
I'm taking mine off.
So Chris comes up with a very interesting fact that motivational factors are going to be your motivational factors. Mine is getting up in the mountains. Chris is going to be into his music. You're going to find your way to motivate yourself. Yep. So with that being said, I'd like to wrap up our first Highly Calibrated podcast episode with just giving you a little bit of a shout out to a local business that really helps me out. It helps me keep my mental health where it needs to be. That's Mini Cat Town. Me and my fiance, we foster kittens. You can find us at Per Your Shells Off on Instagram.
What was the name one more time?
It's at Per Your Shells Off.
Okay.
So we have a turtle, that's why there's shells in there. Awesome. But Mini Cat Town in the San Jose area has been rescuing kittens and doing their best to really help a big issue of just having an overpopulation of cats in the San Jose area, and they've been pushing forward and really doing their best to really change that community and put their best foot forward. So I'd like to give them a big shout out. Mini Cat Town, go check them out. They're really great. They help you with fostering. They also do a kitten cafe once it opens back up.
That's awesome.
In the Eastridge Mall in San Jose.
I love cats.
Absolutely, they're seriously the best. When we're fostering kittens,
they live forever too.
Oh yeah.
which is great.
Absolutely. And when we're fostering kittens, and it might be rough to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to feed them, but you always are smiling. It's awesome.
Sure.
So Mini Cat Sound, shout out on that one. And then finally, also shout out to Chris Gingrich here of House of Muscle. You can also find him on lessons.com. He is going to be all about your basketball, your functional training. Let him talk a little bit more about what he does for the fitness area.
Yeah, so I do basketball training. I do occasionally some football training, mainly basketball. I played in college, so that's my forte. I've worked with every type of client. I've worked with 10-year-old kids. I've worked with paraplegics. I've worked with triple bypass surgery post-op clients. I mean, there's no one I haven't trained. So it's an all-encompassing thing, right? We do one-on-one private personal training here at our studio. We also do body fat and BMR testing. We do life coaching. We give dietary help and advice. We do dietary programs as well with registered dietitians. And we also motivate you, like we talked about during the podcast. I mean, if you can't create it, then find it. And that's definitely something I can help you guys out with. But big thank you, man, for having me on. I greatly appreciate it.
No problem, Chris. No problem whatsoever. And then finally, I am Josh Manus, part of Highly Calibrated Fitness, bringing you the Highly Calibrated Lifestyle, Highly Calibrated Podcast, and also the Highly Calibrated blog. We are everywhere, so if you don't see us, it's on you at this point. And we have everything that's online. We have online classes, online virtual personal training. Now we have this podcast and also in-person training through lessons.com and House of Muscle in the Santa Clara area. And one last just sentiment that I'd like to leave everybody with is when you start to make yourself a better person, once you start striving for your health and what you need to do, you need to find your push and don't say sorry. Keep going and do not look back. All right, signing off. This is Josh Manus with Chris Gingrich and the Highly Calibrated Podcast. Thank you.
Thanks for having me, man.
That was good.
Loved it.
I like that.
Beautiful. Very well done. I loved it. That was awesome.